Hi guys, this is Chandra, and I wanted to share the album that I made. It's 6.5 by 8.5. I have some Recollections flowers. They're the fabric flowers, and then I have a cut apart here. I use the paper from Fabulous Girl, and I use Recollections cardstock in here. So I don't have anything on the cover, and I stuck little photo spots on here. So this one says 3 by 5. Um, So there will be 3 by 5, or no, 3.5 by 5, 4 by 6, and 3.5 by 2.5 photo spots in here. So this lifts up and flips up like that. And then the bottom part flips down. And there's another photo spot here, but I mean the photos can go anywhere. I'm including a note for this person and just giving them an idea of where to put the photos. So here's a 4 by 6 photo spot and then a 3.5 by 5. Trying to get shadows away here. I don't know if that's any better or not. It's definitely not better. Okay. So then all of the tags are 5 3/4 by 7 3/4. Some of them have some of the cut aparts on them, and some of them just have paper. I'm not going to take them all out. These are resin flowers from various places. Recollections. I think I have some Tim Holtz in here, and some from Hobby Lobby. So then when you flip it over, it has these 2 flaps, and I have the 3.5 by 5 photo spots on there. There's a 4 by 6 here. I have some flat back pearls here, and then it goes through again. I just took one of the cut aparts and kind of fussy cut it out, stuck to the photo mats back there. This flips open, and there's a photo spot here that's open, but they probably won't know that. And then they can stick photos here. Whoops. There's a 4 by 6. At first I was going to tell them that they could take these off, but then I thought if they took them off, the 4 by 6, then maybe it would rip the book. So I flip it over, and I fussy cut this out of the cut aparts from the collection. Here's a 2.5 by 3.5. And again, there's a 2.5 by 3.5, the 3.5 by 5, just so you can see the decoration. There's a clothespin from Recollections, just stuck on the tag here. There's a girl. Here's another tag. And these come out. Then you have that part. This is a paper rose that I just stuck there. This is driving me nuts because it keeps on folding. So I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to whack it off a little bit here. Try to cut it straight. That seems to be an issue for me. That side's not folding. Okay, there we go. So here's another photo spot. I'm going to have to glue this one down. At first I had all the pictures going horizontal, and then I realized when I was putting it together that there's really no space in here for horizontal 4 by 6 going this way unless you want it to touch it, because the page is 6 inches wide. So here's more. Some cut aparts. Some journaling spots. I already just opened that. Some more flaps. I have this peace symbol I cut out of the cut aparts. Another photo spot, which I will tear down more. If I don't do it now, I will forget. You know, that's not good. Another cut apart, and then I just stuck one of the 4 by 6 cut aparts there, and some 3.5 by 5 mats. Here's the floppy flap again. 4 by 6 photo mat. these are, I can't remember what flowers these are. They came in a little tiny bag, so I'm not sure I don't think I got them at a store. And there's more. And then you open it up. And on the back, it has flaps again. And then I stuck one of the big cut-aparts on the back cover. And I have, where are they? I have a little note here. And then I've included a photo template that they could put over the photo and cut the photos out. And then some journaling spots, some 3x4 journaling spots that they can put places, and the 4x6 journaling spots. They have lines, but they're reversible, so they can go horizontal or vertical. And then I've included directions and a big paper clip. And I will put this in a bag and we will be good to go. So thanks for watching, and here comes the tutorial. And my husband has a guy he works with that's having a baby girl, so I am going to use the Fabulous Girl paper pad. This is from Recollections, but I believe it was Simple Stories. I think. It doesn't say, but I think it was. But anyway, so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use this premium cardstock by Coordinations. Actually, it says it's 65 pound, but it seems a little bit thin. So actually, I'm going to get the Michaels brand paper, and then I'm going to make this mini album, and I will walk with you guys through it. So I have all my paper together. I don't know which is which. They're not all the same lots. As you can tell, some of the colors are slightly different, but I'm going to do whatever. I'm just going to, I don't know what size or anything yet. I'm going to make this album, so I guess we will find out together. And then, as always, I will figure out how I'm going to make this, and then I will come back and show you the steps to it. Okay, so that's what we're going to make. This is for this. So what you need, and I already forgot the measurements because I made this last night. You need, hi cat, 9 by 6, and you need 6 by 8. You need a piece that measures 5.5 by 8. You need 2 pieces that measure 6.5 by 5. And you need 2 pieces that measure 6.5 by 4. And this is what's going to make our page. So the piece that measures 9 by 6, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 8.5. So I will pretend like I haven't done it yet. So you're going to stick it in so that the 9-inch side is at the top, going across, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then at 8.5. We'll do all the scoring now. So the next pieces you're going to score are the 2 that measure 6.5 by 5. So you're going to put them in so that they're on the 6.5 inch size at the top, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch, and you're going to do that twice. Now the piece that measures 5.5 by 5, or sorry, 5.5 by 8, you're going to stick it in so that the 5.5 inch side is at the top, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch. And the last ones are the 2 pieces that measure 6.5 by 4. You're going to stick it in the scoreboard so that the 6.5 inch side is at the top, and you're going to score it 1/2 inch. Let me close that door. He is. So now I'm going to put the scoreboard up, and I'm going to get out the piece that measures 9 by 6. And all I've done was I folded on those score marks, and then I applied score tape, and I cut off the corners of that piece. And then I am going to use the piece that measures 6 by 8. I'm going to take off the tape backing and I'm going to fold it down. So this is the folded edge now, and I'm going to line it up to the 6x8 piece. And we're making the base page that we're going to stick everything else down to. So I'm just making sure that it's lined up on the side this way. Now I'm going to take off the tape backing from the top, fold it down, and press. Now if you cannot cut straight like I can't, you might have a little bit of an overhang, and all I'm going to do is just trim that off with my scissors. That happens to me every single time. So the next piece that we're going to be working with is the 5.5 by 8 that we scored at 1/2 inch. I folded on my score mark and I applied tape. Now I'm going to do is cut the corners off. I'm going to remove the tape backing. Now I'm going to fold it down, and this is the folded edge now. I'm going to line up that folded edge with the cut edge of this pocket here. I'm going to line it up at the top as well. And I'm just going to press with my bone folder. So that equals that. The next two pieces are the ones that measure 6.5 by 5. And what I did was I spaced it down 1 inch. So I'm just taking my ruler, and this is the flap, and I'm just going to measure 1 inch from the top, and I'm just making a line out like that. And we have this folded where we scored at 1/2 inch. I folded it, I mitered the corners, and I stuck the tape on. So I'm just going to remove the tape backing, and I'm going to line up this tape to this pencil marks that we have. I'm going to line up the folded edge, and I'm going to line it up on the side here too as well. So all I'm going to do is line it up and burnish it down. I'm going to open that flap up. I'm going to take the second piece of paper or cardstock that measures 6.5 by 5, take off the tape backing. I'm going to fold the flap down, and I'm going to line this cut edge up with the folded edge of this flap that we just made. So if it's easier for you to lift up the flap so you can butt up the bottom of the paper, you can do that, obviously. Now I'm just lining it up along the cut edge and folding it down. So there is our flap. So you can put them in there and then burnish it. So again, this left side is going to be the hinge. So you're going to flip it over, and then we're going to attach these two 6.5 by 4 pages. We scored at 1/2 inch, and then I folded the paper and I put score tape on there. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the corners on both of these pages, and then I'm going to take off the tape backing, and I'm going to line up this folded edge and this edge here. So the folded edge is going to go right here on the left side of the paper, and I'm going to line up the bottom of this flap to the bottom of the page. It doesn't have to be, you know, perfect. It's a handmade album. And then I'm just going to line it up, and I'm going to burnish that down. Do the exact same thing to the top. Take off the tape backing. I'm going to line this folded edge up with the edge of the page, and the top with the top of the page. I'm going to just rotate it so that I can do that and see. And then I'm just going to burnish down, and that is the back. So this will be the front of, and then when you flip it over, this is the back.